Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kinky Confessions. My name is Serafina, and I'm here with Leon, and we are here to talk about all things kink related. So, if you have anything you want to say, I don't know if I can see any comments or not, but we'll just kind of go with it. So, our show's basically going to be, as the title says, we're just going to talk about kinks. There's a whole world out there. There's swinging, hot wife, um, BDSM, all kinds of things that we can dive into. But today we're going to take the route of swinging. If you don't know, there's a huge show that just dropped on Hulu called The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. If you're in the TikTok world, Taylor Frankie Paul had a huge scandal a few years ago. She was married and they were having like these cabin parties and they were soft swinging. If you don't know what swinging is, I guess I should get into that first, right?
Why don't you talk about what swinging is, what the concept of soft swinging is, so our audience knows what you're talking about.
Okay, so swinging is basically when you are married or maybe even not married. Do you have to be married? I'm not 100% sure.
No.
Okay, so you're basically a couple, whether you're married or dating, and you find another couple that is into sharing or swapping spouses. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's the concept.
So basically, the wives will switch and go with the husbands.
Yeah,
And
or
then,
you could do soft swinging, which is whenever the couples are in the same room, right? That's what the Mormons did.
right. So it was soft swinging, but also they didn't go all the way. Well, Taylor actually did, but we'll get into that in a second. But the soft swinging, you don't go the whole way, I don't think.
I thought soft swinging was what they're just in the same room having sex with their partners.
See, I thought soft swinging was everything but sex. Can you let's do a fact check. Leon here is gonna check on this for us.
Soft swinging is a term used to describe a type of swinging where couples engage in oh yeah, I guess you're right. Non-penetrative sexual activities with other couples. So I guess it would just be like kissing and everything but intercourse.
Okay, so that's what the show, the Mormon show, we'll get into that in a minute. So soft swinging is everything but sex. And then full swinging is you completely swap with your partners and you go all the way and you have sex with the other person. And I think everybody is in the same room, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically what I was going originally into with this new show that dropped on Hulu, Taylor on TikTok had this scandal a couple years ago and it was soft swinging, so they didn't go all the way. I don't think. I could be wrong on that. I don't really know too much about Taylor, but I am definitely gonna watch the show probably after I'm done with this show. But so I just want to know, like, do you know any swingers, Leon?
I know some guys in college did. Um, but I want to talk about, why do you think it seems to be Mormons in that culture into those types of activities? Do you think religion has something to do with it?
I mean, I definitely think so because the Mormons are supposed to be so like pure, aren't they? They like have all these rules, like they wear garments, they're very holy in everything that they do. Not that other religions aren't, but it does seem to be like the Mormons that have the scandals, I think. So I know there's one thing in Mormon, this is really a religion show, but I know one thing that Mormons do is it's called soaking. Have you ever heard of soaking?
No.
So soaking is when if you're, I think only Mormons do this. I could be wrong, but soaking is whenever they're trying not to have sex until marriage, I believe. So the man will penetrate the woman and then a friend jumps on the bed. So they're not actually like thrusting, but they get that same sensation sort of. That's what soaking is. Seriously, look it up.
So the friend jumps on the bed?
To make it seem like it's not thrusting, but it gives them that motion.
So he acts as like he's jumping up and down so the bed moves?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know, but apparently, I do think that religion plays a lot into the Mormons with their weird.
I think it's just like any religion. So if there's such a strict view on sex when you're growing up and you're experimenting and you want to, it's, I think it's just human nature to explore something that you've been forbidden. I mean, look at, I don't want to go too deep into the weeds like Adam and Eve, but I think it's just human nature to do that.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with what people do behind closed doors. Obviously not, since we're hosting uh, a
Sex show.
sex show. Well, I want to say sex show, but just exploring human sexuality, right? So, in terms of this, why don't you go into like how does this swinging take place in this new show? So, these why don't you talk about like what mom talk was and go into what spun out of that? Why this is such a scandal?
So the mom talk, if you're in the TikTok world, Taylor basically created the mom talk. Now she would make videos, TikToks with her and her husband and then her group of friends. Um, and I know she would do a lot of satire. Like I remember seeing her one TikTok and it was like something about sharing her husband and all the comments were, this was before everything came out, and all the comments were like, "Or you can't tell if this is satire or not." Most people did think it was satire, but apparently it wasn't. However, why this came out was, I guess they were having like a huge party. I don't really remember the specifics of it, but they were having like a big party. And I don't know if pictures got leaked. I don't remember why everything got leaked. I don't remember why everything got leaked, but I know the friends that she would party with and have these soft swinging parties with, they denied everything. And then Taylor basically came out and saying, no, these people were involved. But it was such a scandal because they're supposed to be these Mormons that were like going to church on Sundays and they have little kids. And it was a huge thing.
Just from my short reading about this whole mom talk situation, and I guess Taylor Frankie falls in like the brunt of it all. Is that right?
Yeah, so the show that dropped on Hulu today, she's like the front runner, and then there's a group of girls with her. Now, from my understanding, the girls that are in the show were not a part of the soft swinging. Um, but oh, I remember what I was going to say now. It came out because she actually did go all the way with one of the husbands. She was really drunk. They had sex, and then her husband found out after the fact, and they were never supposed to go all the way, and that's why it came out to be such a scandal.
Did they? I know from my understanding of swinging and successful swinging relationships and marriages, you have to set boundaries, right? So if both couples know what they're getting into, then they can go and have a good time. But it sounds like this Taylor, they had boundaries with the husband saying, hey, we're not going to go all the way. We're just going to keep it soft swinging where, we're not going the
Not
whole
being
phase,
alone
right?
with somebody else.
Is that soft swinging?
So the soft swinging, they were all doing it together and everyone was watching. Now, so she went off.
When Taylor went off, was she still soft swinging with the other guy, or did they actually go full on?
Oh no, they went full on. She had sex
So
with the
she
other
broke
guy. She broke the
she broke
boundaries.
two boundaries then.
Yeah.
Okay. So that, and then they got in hot water over that, or they got hot water over, hey, this group of mom talkers are swinging, number one, and that's unfortunately frowned upon, what people do behind closed doors. But did that really break out when this Taylor woman, like, basically she cheated on her husband?
Yeah, so I think what happened was they were all soft swinging together and then she went off with the other guy. And I think, if I'm not wrong, there was another guy in the soft swinging group that was married to her best friend. I think, if I heard this correctly, I just watched her interview on the Vile Files, but I think the other husband caught feelings for her, and that's where things got tricky as well.
Makes sense.
So I think, like you were saying earlier, whatever you do behind closed doors is at your business. That's fine, but you do have to set boundaries. And I think, especially with swinging, you have to be really confident in your marriage and your relationship if you're going to open those doors.
No, I agree with that. So I guess staying on the topic of this show. So is this show going to be about the swinging aspect, or is this show going to just be about the drama after the incident of her going with the other guy?
I think it does cover some of the swinging. I do think they talk about it. I'm not really sure though. I probably should have watched it before our show tonight, but I'm definitely going to watch it probably tonight and see what they say. Maybe we can cover it again.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Okay, so I guess what are your views on swinging and the swinging community in general and society and American culture's view on swinging? Do you think as we progress as a nation, I mean it's 2024, do you think swinging's people's view on swings are negative still, or because I've seen on TikTok that I think it was Swing Talk came in my algorithm one day, and there was tons of likes and comments. Do you just think that? I mean, what are your thoughts on?
So I think I learned about swinging from TikTok as well because before Taylor came out, um, sorry, we had some technical difficulties. Before Taylor's whole thing came out, I do remember seeing, I forget what her name was. I think it was like Christina or something. She was on TikTok and she was really big. I think she's a hot mess though. I don't even ever see her on my For You page anymore. However, I think that's how I learned about swinging. She was swapping with her. It was like her husband and another couple that they were swapping. Do you remember the one that?
Weren't they supposed to have a show?
Yeah, I don't know if that was a lie or not. Because remember, she was like a hot mess, whoever she is. I don't even know if that was her name. But anyway, so my views on swinging, I think, whatever you're comfortable with in a relationship, like that's on you. If you're married or in a committed relationship and you want to like test boundaries, you want to break the like what's it called? The norm. I mean, go for it. You only live once. Like, if you want to go have fun and your husband or your wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, if they're down with it and you have your boundaries set, like, go for it. Who's stopping you? What do you think about it?
I agree. I mean, if both couples are into it, why not? I mean, personally, I wouldn't swing. But I mean, whatever. I mean, that's the whole point of kink and sexuality is just exploring quote unquote not normal sex. I think
Because who really wants to just have regular, like, vanilla bedroom sex? Like, you want to spice it up.
yeah, it gets boring. Not that you're boring, but
Yeah, I know.
uh, I don't know. I just people just need to mind their own effing business and just just live life. Like I'm a bit of a hedonist.
Hedonist? What do you mean?
I just think that I mean pleasure is I mean one of the best things in the world, and I would do most anything, not everything. I'm not a drug addict or anything, but in terms of like sexuality, I think that people should be able to explore without judgment from others. Now, granted, my business behind closed door, I'm not going to go parade it around everybody, right? What
Right,
I do behind
exactly.
closed doors, what we do behind closed doors is between me and you
Right.
and whoever we're fucking around with.
Yeah.
Swear.
We might get kicked off.
Yes. So I don't know. I just think it's kind of weird that not weird, but it's an interesting thing where you hear stories of like Mormons or hardcore Catholics or hardcore.
It's always the ones that are like really into religion that are like the freakiest.
Well, it's just like when you're growing up and you're told not to do something your whole life. First thing you're gonna do when you can do it is most likely you're gonna do it, right?
Yeah, I never smoked a cigarette in my life, and I'm not a smoker now. But as soon as I turned 18, I bought a pack of cigarettes because I could do it.
Yeah.
So it's like the same concept. Um, So I just feel like I agree though. Like whenever you're told not to do something, you want to do it, and if someone tells you like, oh, it's wrong to go out and find another couple to mess around with, well, why are you telling me that I can't do that? I think anyone can do that. There's so many like websites that you can go on. I was doing some research, and there's this app called SLS, and you can make like a profile. I don't have one. I'm just saying I did some research, and apparently on this app, you can go on there, make a profile, and whatever your kinky confessions are, I guess you could say, you can find another couple that wants to play, basically.
You can find other freaks, right?
Yeah, the freaks. I guess that's a good way to put it. People that are into like the same things as you, whether that's like in this case, since we're talking about swinging, like whether it's swinging or maybe you just want a friend to talk to you about like the weird things that you and your partner do. And sometimes I think people need that too.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think with the rise of like technology and the ability for human beings to connect instantly across the globe or across cities online has really made swinging and exploring other aspects of like community driven like fet life is a good
Oh yeah, I forgot about Fat Life.
where that's just a website dedicated to different fetishes and people that explore it together.
Now that would be an interesting thing to dive into. Yeah, maybe if anyone listens to this, if we get a lot of traction, or if anybody wants more shows from us, we could dig into FetLife and kind of go off there and talk about the things that are on there. This is also, I don't know if I mentioned this, but we are totally non-judgmental. If you couldn't tell by now, we you could tell us like the weirdest kink that you have, and we'd be like, oh yeah, cool. Like tell us more about it. We want to learn about it. We are so into like learning about all the new, I don't even know if it's new really, but all the different.
Well, like going back to what I previously said, I think everything seems new and gaining popularity because of the rise of like just modern day ability for human beings to join communities and find partners and explore swinging. Like back in like the early 1950s and 60s, I think, is when swinging really started to gain popularity and people, the concept of swinging actually came to fruition during the, I think that was like the hippie era.
Yeah, because
Free love and
Austin Powers was
yeah,
a swinger.
that's right. Boston Flowers was a song.
We loved Austin Powers, and then I
And like it was viewed as a form of rebellion against conservative norms. It was just a way for human beings to explore their sexuality and also give the middle finger to the man.
yeah, and get their
Yeah,
release, wink wink.
right, exactly.
So go ahead.
And I just think it's progressed from the 50s and 60s down to what we're seeing now, where it's becoming more mainstream.
And I think more people aren't afraid to. I mean, I think it's still pretty taboo, but I think more people are coming forward with it. Do I think the drama with the TikTok, the mom talk, like Taylor Frankie Paul, do I think that she was going to tell people about it? Probably not. I think that if she wouldn't have got caught, like going breaking the boundaries, I think they probably would have kept it pretty hush hush. But I do think more people are being more open about it. Just like you remember that one TikToker? They weren't swingers, but they were polyamorous. You know which ones I'm talking about, right? Maybe. Do you remember? She like had like a million TikToks because she kept getting banned. But she has a husband and they always like have a girlfriend.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember her.
So I feel like people are like coming onto TikTok more and more and saying like this is what I'm into. And I mean honestly like she's probably so rich because she's getting a ton of views, a ton of shares because people are just interested in their life. Like you can be a hater but you know you're interested. You want to know how it works. I mean, I'm definitely not polyamorous, but and I know I'm kind of getting off swinging a little bit, but it kind of all is one and the same. However, like, am I into that? No. But am I interested in learning about what it is? Yeah, because it's taboo and nobody talks about it.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think we could talk about that in a different show, as well as I forget what I was gonna say.
We have about 10 minutes left, so I don't know. I know we'll have to figure out like a way to get it so we can like chat with our viewers. So if anybody wants to like, we'll figure that out for the next show. Um, I'd love to chat with you guys, and we want to talk about all the different things. Have a drink with us during our half hour. We're going to be chatting about all the things that are kind of taboo, and I don't know. We can get into more in depth things like fet life, like you were saying, and
Rise
polyamorous.
of like OnlyFans and like
Oh
amateur
yeah,
porn and
OnlyFans. We could definitely talk about OnlyFans. Um, what was there another one that's like really big right now? Fansly or something?
fan. Well, that's we could talk about like self content creators like OnlyFans, Fansleys.
Like the
There's other
Foot Finder.
finders, a big
Like
one.
yeah, Foot Finder is interesting to me. Definitely not judging those that have foot fetishes because I know a few people that do. But it's definitely interesting. Like it's not weird. I'm not saying it's weird, but it's I don't know another word other than interesting.
That could be another show. There's like
There's so many things we can talk
like
about.
foot fetishes. We could have a special guest for that one.
Yeah, we
I know
could.
exactly who would be.
I actually think we should do that. We should bring him on. We're gonna reach out to him after this. Maybe if we get enough viewers, we can bring him in on the next show. I'll actually maybe send him a message after this.
Yeah, I think that.
We can talk about Reddit because a lot of stuff is on Reddit too that you wouldn't think. Um, what else is there? There's BDSM. There's did I say hot wifing? Hot wifing is an interesting one. I would love to get into. I mean, not actually get into hot wifing. I didn't mean it that way. I mean, I would like to learn about it. It's interesting. Cuckolding.
Foot fetish voyagerism,
That goes so fast. I can't read.
exhibitionism,
Like clothing,
medical play, um,
orgasm control. There's just a lot. We need to get another mic.
There's like humiliation's really big now.
Pay pigs.
Yeah, pay pigs,
Sugar babies and pay pigs.
sugar babies, and pay pigs.
Now that one's another interesting. I think we could have a guest on that too. It's the same. If he listens to this, he might not be too happy with us. But yeah, I'm really excited about this show. I hope you guys like it. I hope we can get some traction and hope we can find a way to interact with you guys. I definitely need to get another mic, a better mic. If we're gonna do this for real, I think it'd be fun. It's just a nice way to unwind your Friday nights. You can just pull it up on YouTube or on the radio, Oracle Radio. Is it Oracle? Did I say that right? Oracle Radio Network. I know. It's still pretty brand new. So Oracle Network, pull it up, get a drink, and just chat with us. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, no, I think that's it. This was kind of like an intro show. So just to get to know us. So my name's Leon. My wife here, Serafina. We're pretty open couple. Take that as you will. We're like she said, we're very open minded. We like exploring sexuality. I think it's part of the human dynamic is to, just enjoy life. I mean, you're only on this earth for so many years. You should be able to have fun while you're on it with no judgment. And I know we could get into. I know we kind of touched on the Mormonism and that aspect of like those couples doing swinging. We briefly touched on religion, but I think that would be a good topic to go dive deeper into. So
Yeah, so I think we're going to wrap it up. I know we're a couple minutes early, but again, this was just kind of like an intro show. Just wanted to introduce ourselves and briefly talk on some things. If this is a show that you're interested in, like us, drop some comments. Like I said, we're going to try to figure out a way to communicate with you guys. So if anyone wants to like live chat with us, that way we can interact with our following.
And we're gonna have socials created so you can see, and then we'll have a camera next time, so you can see my hot wife and her her little husband here.
So, all right. Well, we're going to wrap it up for tonight. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Yeah.